From a galaxy far, far away, straight into your ear holes, coming from us, this is Going Rogue. I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
Trying something new. But yes, welcome back to another episode of our weekly Star Wars podcast. I think we both decided that, like, news stories aren't our thing.
I mean, we could talk about them.
But
like,
I don't know, because it's just, especially nowadays, but there's very little news, there's only rumors going around, and that's not really what these shows
like Donald Glover.
Yeah, the Donald Glover is being rumored to have his own Disney series, but I like the whole just discussion aspect of this show.
Okay.
So I don't think we'll go over, unless it's like huge news.
Yes,
then
like
it'll be
confirmed or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think if it's like huge, like
I just fell out of my chair.
if it's like huge news that like changes the landscape of Star Wars or something like that, or
Fair
that we
enough.
can make it like the main like topic of the show.
Yes.
I think that's a good thing that we'll do. Is just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we'll before we get into the main topic, I just said that we're going to cover news. Something did come out this past week. It was the Dr. Aphra audio story. It's not a book. It's just like an audio. You heard me listen to it earlier today. I finished it today.
Yeah, there was a character I didn't like.
It's the main character you didn't like,
no, I
Dr.
didn't like
Aphra.
her.
Just quick thoughts on it. I really enjoyed it. I was familiar with the character. With the characters, I should say, in storyline, so I was lucid because it's a comic book character.
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is I'll probably do a separate video on that, just giving my full thoughts on it. But quick thoughts, I really enjoyed it. So I would highly recommend if you haven't picked that up, pick it up. I'll probably get a full review on it this weekend, if not next week. I'll get my full thoughts on it.
Don't so much listen to me because I listened to maybe like a snippet of it, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes, and I was just like, who is this? I don't like them at all. So
I really enjoyed it.
I didn't listen to the whole thing.
But
just ignore me.
Yeah, so I'll probably get my full thoughts on that probably this weekend or next week at the very latest. Do a separate video on that. Just me. Yes, because I'm the one that listened to it. You listen to it.
And I'm probably not going to listen to it. So, yeah.
So that's what we'll do for like news stories and thoughts like that. Look to me on Twitter because I'll react to that stuff like that, books and reviews like that. Do separate videos. But for this main show for Star Wars, it's a discussion show, and the main topic of tonight you actually thought up of,
Which I'm afraid that it's going to be a terrible topic. Like I'm afraid it's going to be like, wow, it was stupid.
No, I think it's a very good discussion topic. So
I
the main
don't know.
topic for tonight's show, or
I
say
feel like
today's
it
show, I should say.
depends on how you approach it, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to say
Yeah,
it?
no, it's
Oh,
your topic,
okay.
so you introduce it.
See, it's okay. I asked Andrew the other day, I'm like, what do you think would have had a bigger impact on the galaxy if Rey in that moment had struck Palpatine down and gave in to the dark side and became
Evil.
a Sith Lord,
Yeah.
if you will?
Yeah.
Or if Ben had survived the end of the movie and survived to be fully redeemed and live to tell the tale and join the Jedi. So I'm like, what do you think would have had a bigger impact on the galaxy?
So, because like both have like I when you ask me that question, this sort of when I think about this question, it's like not only just repercussions for the galaxy, but repercussions for the characters, repercussions for the fans of the fandom, like how would the fandom respond to that?
I don't
So,
think the fandom would have responded well to Rey.
So I think a great way to look at this question was let's take each scenario and look at it that way. Like how would it affect the galaxy? How would it affect the characters? And how do we think the fandom would respond to that?
Yes.
So I think that's a great discussion piece. So let's go first with the one that I think you might talk about most is Dark Rey. So if Rey had fallen to the dark side, had struck Palpatine down, and because the way that the story is presented in the movie is if she strikes him down in hatred, Palpatine then possesses her, which is a new story beat that I think they introduced in the movie, and she becomes all the Sith live through her.
See, here's where I'm afraid my discussion topic isn't a good one. And I wonder if we have to kind of modify it. Because here's where I'm afraid holes are going to be poked in it and it becomes like, oh, what a stupid question. Because chronologically in the movie, if we're talking Rey strikes Palpatine down, Kylo already was gone, and it was Ben.
Yeah.
So if Rey turns to the dark side,
Then Ben is left.
Ben's not like.
Mm-hmm.
Is he redeemed at that point fully?
Not really, but he's turned from
He's
the dark side.
turning away from the dark side.
Yeah.
So, he's running around out there,
Mm-hmm.
a good guy,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. And on the other side, if Ben had survived
Mm-hmm.
bringing Rey back, then that means that they would have both been there on the same side,
Mm-hmm.
which means that would have had a bigger impact in the galaxy having both of them there. So I wonder if it has to be a question like, forget the other one. If Rey turned dark, forget about Ben and
Okay.
Kylo for a minute.
Yeah.
And if Kylo got redeemed, forget about Rey for a minute. Because if Kylo got redeemed and teamed up with Rey, and they were both Jedi fighting everybody, and they destroyed Palpatine, game over, I think.
Yeah.
But if Rey had gone to the dark side and Kylo was out there and they just kind of changed places and she was bad and he was good, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
I like the. Let's just discuss all of that because
Okay.
I think it's fun to the what ifs and
Yeah.
like so. Rey turns to the dark side. She strikes down Palpatine, and she becomes possessed by the spirit of Palpatine. I think she's strong enough now to overpower Ben.
Probably.
At
Especially
this
if he's
point?
kind of like, I'm a good guy now.
Yeah.
He's might not be too sure on his, his footing isn't, he's not grounded yet in the goodness.
Because I think with Palpatine, he was easily to overpower both Rey and Ben Solo in
true.
that matter. And now that he finally gets what he wants, because the thing with him possessing Rey is now he's not confined to this rotting body.
Yeah,
Now he's all powerful.
He's all powerful. He's in a much younger, more viable body.
Yeah, exactly, and more powerful body too. In that case, because Rey actually does overpower him. It's at the end of the movie, we have our own qualms about that.
Yeah.
But I think it's bad news if that happens for everybody.
I think so. I mean, she already has the power of Palpatine, and then imagine his
essence, his spirit.
his spirit.
Yeah, that was a bad choice of words.
Wow. His evilness passing on to and through her. I feel like that would be pretty bad news for the galaxy, even if Ben was on the light side.
Yeah, because the remainder of the Resistance, the last fight against Palpatine is already getting destroyed as we speak. So if Rey does strike down, or if Rey does get possessed by Palpatine, then it's like, all right, he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
And now even though the rest of the galaxy is coming to save the Resistance, he's still doing the lightning thing. He clearly shows that he can take everybody out at once.
And here's another thing that I was just thinking about. Because, we watched Palpatine episodes 1, 2, and 3. And he was just, the puppeteer. He was making everybody do his dirty work. And he was all, oh, well, I love democracy. He was behind the scenes pulling strings here and there, manipulating this person, manipulating that person, and masterminding everything. And he was a brilliant bad guy in that way because he was so amazingly low key about it all and so smart about it all. So the thing that I wonder about is, let's say Rey strikes him down. Ben's not there yet. He's still.
Oh, that's true.
He doesn't have his lightsaber because she didn't give it to him. So maybe he's getting smacked around by the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
She strikes Palpatine down. She is
That's
Palpatine.
a great point.
What happens if, she is Palpatine. She's got that blood in her, and now she's got the rest of it in her too.
Yeah.
What if instead of just going on a rampage and just like striking everybody down, she takes the episode 1 and 2 Palpatine road and goes, well, I've already got an in with these people on the Resistance. They already trust me. What if I infiltrate them from within? And I use them and I become my own mole on the inside of the Resistance.
Point. I
turn
like
them against each other.
Yes.
Let them destroy each other. And then I can just, clean up the scraps.
Yeah, because as far as they know, it's like she can possessed Rey can play it all off and be like, hey, I killed Palpatine.
Palpatine did.
Palpatine's gone.
He was just, pulling every string.
Yeah.
And she must have that capacity within her too, especially once he passes into her. It's so weird to say, but especially once his soul once he becomes one with her, more or
Yeah.
less. So yeah,
That's
I think
a
that
great idea.
yeah, imagine that. Imagine her meeting up with them again. Like she comes out like, guys, I got him. Go home, and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was the kind of thing where, how in episode 1 when.
Mm-hmm.
You do one thing and all the battle droids go.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't know if it was that kind of thing where
No.
destroy Palpatine and all the ships are like, okay.
No. And you also got to think about the room full of Sith loyalists that are doing their little chanty thing.
True, but
So
she could be like, guys, chill. I got it.
go,
Go home.
go home.
Have dinner. I got this. We'll talk.
Yeah,
later.
I mean that's a great point too, because I've always said that the thing about Palpatine that makes him such a great villain, it's not that he has all this power and the Force. It's his way he manipulates people, with his words. That is his most powerful tool at his disposal.
He's not outwardly violent.
Yeah.
He's just manipulative.
Oh yeah, exactly.
All hell.
Yeah, so that's a great point to bring up too. To say like maybe she takes that road instead of like.
Because imagine what she could do with Finn. She and Finn have a great connection.
Yeah, that's true
Imagine
too.
how she could turn Finn against people.
And who's to say that? Well,
And he's Force sensitive.
yeah,
So
that
she
too.
could use that.
And who's to say that because Ben's getting beat up by the Knights of Ren, maybe she saves him and then manipulates him back to the dark side, and now you have these two.
Yeah, because
Now you have the Master and the Apprentice again.
at that point he might still be teetering.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably leaning more towards the light, but he's, he didn't take that last jump.
Yeah.
So maybe she could manipulate him, maybe not. She could probably
I think
overpower him at that point.
That's a great point. But like as far as the galaxy is concerned, if Rey turning dark is.
It's bad news.
It's bad news. It's a terrible thing to happen to the galaxy, because now you have Palpatine got what he wanted.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna take over the galaxy again.
Yeah.
So as far as the character is concerned of Rey,
I don't think it would go over well with fans.
well, not the fans, but as far as
Oh.
concerning the character, like what does it mean for the character if she turns dark? Like she feared this like basically the entire movie, since her vision in the very beginning of the movie. That's what she's afraid of. She's afraid of her true self.
Yeah.
And she's afraid of what that means for her. And like, well, I have this terrible truth about me, and now I don't want it to define me. And now, striking Palpatine down and becoming dark, you fulfill that being, okay. This is just basically accepting the darkness.
Yeah. She would just become the new Kylo Ren, and she would just be tortured. Her existence would be tortured because she goes, I became everything I feared that I would.
Yeah,
or could.
exactly.
So I feel like she would just become another, super tortured Sith Lord that is just miserable. The choices they've made, they regret them as much as they don't want to admit it. I feel like Palpatine is the only one that is truly just like bad.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
At least Vader was like, probably should have done that. Ben too,
As
for
far
that matter.
as far as we know, because we don't have a complete origin story for Palpatine. Because when we first really meet him, it's episode 1 in the canon line. It's you meet him in episode 1, and then he gets revealed to be this Dark Lord throughout the rest of the
He never
the saga.
shows a shred of remorse ever.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's one of the only ones we've seen. Well, I mean Maul too, and he seems to be pretty content with being on the dark side. But like I don't know, I think Rey she would be a lot like Vader and a lot like Kylo Ren in that this is not what she wanted. She's pissed at herself and disappointed in herself and ashamed of herself, and all those negative feelings kind of fuel her rage and her darkness, and it's just an endless cycle until she either
finds another apprentice.
finds another apprentice
And
who
the
kills
cycle-
her,
Yeah, and the cycle begins again.
or somebody brings her back and redeems her.
Do you think she'd be redeemable at this
I
point?
do. Well,
If she strikes Palpatine down, Palpatine possesses her. Do you think she's redeemable at this point? Do you think there's any chance of her coming back to the light if she turns?
in that very moment, it doesn't seem like there would be, because I feel like she would it might almost feel good at
Yeah.
that point to be like, oh, I can finally let go of this, this struggle that I used to have and just let go and be me, baby. I'm a Palpatine, But in that moment, I think it might feel good. But I think down the line, I do think she could be brought back.
Yeah.
Especially if Pin and Foe,
Yeah.
Finn and Poe got involved.
Yeah. And like a wise Jedi Master said in the previous movie, no one's ever really gone.
Exactly.
So,
So in that moment, I don't think Ben could have just come out of the corner and been like, Rey, no.
Yeah.
But eventually, I absolutely think she could have been turned back.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the galaxy, the character. How do you think the fans would have responded to this? Because we have our own. We've always said that Dark Reign never made any sense.
No,
Never made any sense to me. Like why? Because like there's so many fans like, oh, we got to turn Rey dark. That's the only you want to throw. You want something new. You want to throw a curveball at the fans.
No.
Shake it up a bit. Turn your hero dark. It's like.
No.
I've never understood why.
Not Rey.
Yeah, and especially because this character was brought in right off the bat as a sort of a character that young girls can look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already established her as that in The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
And to have her head down that path and like, all right, we're going to turn her dark anyways.
Yeah. To build her up for 2 movies
Yeah.
as this amazingly strong, inspirational character that young women can look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And then to just be like,
Yeah.
we're going to make her bad. And then all these little girls are going to be like, what?
It'd be like the Daenerys Targaryen effect of like throughout the whole like 7 seasons she's like built up to be this amazing character.
Then you're like bitter because you're like, I followed you for so long.
Yeah, and you just turn up and that's a discussion for another time for a different show.
I just feel like it would be a letdown. I feel like it would be disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
You would invest. You would have invested 2 movies in this female character as a female person, or maybe like a little girl or something. I feel like you would have invested like 2 movies getting emotionally connected to this person, trying to sympathize, empathize, whatever. And then I just feel like it would be a disappointment and a letdown to be like, wow. And you would feel almost I know that's probably the point of a movie is to evoke feelings from the audience.
Yeah.
But I feel like that feeling of like, it's almost like would feel like she betrayed me personally.
Yeah, and to do that, and Star Wars isn't that kind of property. Because like you know what I mean?
Game of Thrones, that kind of property.
Definitely.
I don't care what the audience thinks.
Yeah, there's so many other properties that like and people like in the Schmoedown community and the people that are running that circle would always say like the point of like storytelling is to invoke emotion, is to invoke thinking about the story and things. Star Wars in the subtext of things, you can draw just certain aspects out of it like that, but like at its core, that's never been the property. No. The whole point of Star Wars, and I think Sam Witwer's touched on this, George Lucas has touched on this, the whole point of Star Wars is to give people hope.
Yeah.
And when you turn your main character dark,
I
mean, Anakin Skywalker's a different story because we knew he was going to turn dark.
Yeah.
Because we saw him as Darth Vader first, and then we went backwards in time for whatever reason.
His is a weird story.
It's a weird story, but
the way
like
it was told.
Yeah, but looking at an overarching story of Darth Vader, there's always hope for him to come back. So the underlying theme of Star Wars to me has always been hope, and give your viewers hope, give your fans hope, and to have Rey turn to the dark side would be like, so what was I doing in the past couple movies?
Exactly. Like I invested all this time with this character for her to let me down and abandon me.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to end.
And like she's not as strong as you thought she was because you built her up this entire time. It's like she's above this. She's not turning to the dark side because I know her. I know that she's strong enough to resist the dark. And then you're like, oh no, she's down dark. And I was like, so she's not as strong as I thought she was.
Yeah.
And you said it yourself. It's like it would be a massive disappointment if that would have happened.
I mean, if they had wanted to turn her dark, then I guess a less, I don't know, I guess a feasible way / a predictable way would have been to like introduce her in The Force Awakens, turn her a little bit dark in the second one, have her stumble, dabble in the dark, and then redeem her in Rise.
Yeah.
Predictable, sure.
Yeah.
But, I didn't want to see her turn to the dark side. I didn't want, because I feel like all the people that were introduced to us in the sequel trilogy just had hearts of gold. Yeah. Poe, Finn, Rey. Yeah. Hearts of gold, all 3 of them. Yeah. Amazing characters. So, I mean, they all come from backgrounds that are, unsavory. Yeah. So, you don't want to see a spice runner. You don't want to see a stormtrooper. You don't want to see a scavenger build up only to fall back and
Yeah.
lose hope. You don't want to. You want to see those people succeed. You don't want to see them. I mean, we see them stumble along the way
Yeah.
here and there, but nothing that's gonna be detrimental to their entire well-being.
Yeah.
You know, every hero is gonna hit some roadblocks
Mm-hmm.
and speed bumps. But you don't want to see characters like that have come from those backgrounds. You don't want to see them fail, even if it's to see them get redeemed. You don't want to see them fail. I didn't want to see any of them fail.
Yeah.
I wanted them to succeed and be awesome all throughout the trilogy.
Yeah, so that was Dark Ray.
Yeah.
So I think, again, for the galaxy, it's terrible. For the
Oh,
character,
yeah.
it's
Not a great move for the character.
Not a great move for the character, and not a great move for the fandom either.
Yeah, the reception from the fans.
Yeah, so I say they made the great the proper decision to not turn her dark.
They gave us a glimpse, which
Yeah.
I think helps satisfy some people's appetite just to see that. So
See
at
the
least,
Dark Ray.
At least we got to get a little taste of it, but I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah. So on the other side of that coin is
Good guy Ben.
good guy Ben, light side Jedi Ben.
Yeah.
And obviously we sort of got a little bit of it at the end of Rise of Skywalker, where he does turn from the
Barely.
dark.
Didn't even get a line from him other than ouch.
Ow.
Ow.
Yeah, so I mean, this was actually a point that people have brought up, like, if he does get redeemed, don't kill him off immediately. I think it would have been, as far as, him having to live with all those decisions, rather than like, all right, you're redeemed. All right, so bye-bye. We don't have to deal with him walking around the galaxy.
Yeah.
Or flying around the galaxy.
It's like learning the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Vader and Kylo was just like, oh, I'm good now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels so good to be good.
So as far as the galaxy, so if say Ben Solo turned, he obviously did turn. Say he survives his redemption,
yeah.
from bringing Rey back from death,
Yeah.
which story wise, like, because Anakin Skywalker wanted to learn how to bring people back, save people from death, which
Yeah.
is crazy, because no, it's not. He doesn't find out, but it's fun that his grandson got to figure that out. But the consequence of that is you sacrifice your own life to save another, and it's not in the way that Anakin wanted. He just wanted to be, for selfish reasons, save Padme. What?
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 I'm trying to see the family tree in my head. Anakin.
Leia. Ben.
Okay. Took me a while to get there.
You're like,
I don't
doing
know
that-
why, because you were talking about Anakin, and in my head it registered as Luke, and I'm
Luke,
like,
oh,
this is
yeah.
not his grandson, it's like his nephew or whatever. You said Anakin, in my brain it just went Luke, and I'm with you now. I'm caught up.
Okay, yeah. So it's just a fun little story nugget for me. It's like, oh, Anakin was obsessed in Revenge, trying to figure out how to cheat death and bring people back from the dark. And years later, it's his grandson that figures out how to do it. But there's a consequence to it.
Yeah.
So say he does bring Rey back, and she is dead at this point. I know there's people.
Oh,
there are people like,
she was dead.
it's like, oh no, she's not fully
No,
dead. And the novelist
she's
says
dead.
like the Force didn't take her yet. It's like, she's dead. She's
dead.
completely dead at this point.
I mean,
just
the Force didn't take Qui-Gon either. He got burned, right? And same with Darth Vader. But they were really dead. So
Yes.
she was dead.
Oh yeah.
That color, that girl was great.
So
And
say yes.
dilated eyes,
So going off on
fixed
tangent
eyes, fixed stare.
So
she dead.
Yeah, she real dead. So say Ben Solo, who is a part of the light now, brings her back from the dead, and he survives it somehow.
Yes.
What does that mean for the galaxy?
I don't think it means anything initially.
Yeah.
Because if you think about like bad Rey going and infiltrating the Resistance, now think about good Ben trying to make amends with the Resistance.
Yeah.
And trying to convince them, no, it's really, I'm fine now.
Yeah.
Trust me. You can trust me now.
Yeah.
He would have a much harder road ahead of him. Rey, easy road.
Yeah.
Everybody trusts her and loves her already. Ben, it wouldn't mean much for the galaxy right away.
Yeah.
Because they're going to attack him the minute they see him. He's going to take forever or never convince them that he's actually... How are you going to convince somebody after all that crap you've done? How are you going to be like, I'm a new person.
Oh man, I'm changed.
This is me now.
Yeah.
You know, how are you going to convince them of
Yeah.
that? Unless Rey, I don't know. I think even Rey vouching for him.
Yeah, I think. Do you think so? As far as how is this, what does this mean for the galaxy? Like, do you think Rey goes back to the Resistance, or does she run off with Ben and try to start a new Jedi Order, or does Ben go off on by himself and Rey goes back to the Resistance?
I feel like that might be the most probable one.
That Ben goes off by himself.
I don't think there's any chance that Rey abandons the Resistance.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any chance she leaves them,
'Cause-
especially knowing that Leia's gone
Yeah.
and Luke's gone. I don't think she would
Well,
abandon them.
Yeah. Well, looking at this point, the Emperor is defeated. The final order is defeated. So
Yeah.
there's no real threat to the galaxy right now. So there's no real purpose for the Resistance.
True, but I mean, man, trying to think of an analogy.
Because that's a great point. Because the whole point of the Resistance was to defeat the First Order and now the Final Order and restore peace to the galaxy. Even though now there's no infrastructure,
Yeah.
maybe there's no political government that govern the galaxy.
It's true, but they still have an emotional connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, imagine if our friends, imagine if somebody was having a birthday and they were like, hey, we're gonna go out to that bar. We have a reason to go out to that
Probably
bar.
social distance ourselves and do it.
We're gonna go out to that bar and we're gonna have a great time. Oh, okay, yes, I will weave that in. We're gonna go out to that bar and have a great time because it's my birthday. We have a reason to get together, and I have a reason to meet up with you there.
Yeah.
But imagine that bar is like Corona and shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all don't have plans. I'm not gonna go hang out with my friend. I'm just gonna abandon my friends because I don't have a reason to hang out
That's
with
a
them
good
anymore.
point.
Like we still have there's still a reason to go back, even if there's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
That's
yeah.
not. It's a. That's
Well, no,
terrible analogy.
because
So best I could come up with right there.
no, because Rey. So, excuse me. Sorry, Rey still has that attachment to Finn
Exactly.
because they're very close.
Just because there's not a reason doesn't mean the emotional connections aren't still there. The interpersonal, the relationships are gone. I don't see Rey just leaving them for
leaving them.
nothing.
Yeah.
Especially for a dude.
Yeah.
She's never been one to be like, oh, I need a man.
Yeah.
Not that their relationship was guaranteed to be romantic, but I just don't see Rey running off with Ben and abandoning them without saying a word.
But yeah, that's a good point. But do you say maybe she sneaks off every once in a while to meet up with him because they're the last two remaining Jedi? If this scenario plays out, Ben Solo's alive, Rey's alive, just defeated the Final Order, just defeated the Empire altogether. They're the last two remaining Jedi in the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
Now it's up to them. Because the whole point of Rey staying late was if she dies and fails to defeat Palpatine, the Jedi die.
Right.
And they've Luke, Leia, Yoda, Ghost Yoda, and Rey have always been. We need to keep the Jedi going. So, does Rey leave? Hey, goes back to the Resistance. Say, hey, I have a duty to uphold as a Jedi. I need to rebuild the Jedi Order, bring the Jedi back to maintain the peace. Because at this point, there's no government
Yeah.
at all, and somebody needs to maintain the peace. So who's to say that she's like, all right, I have a bigger responsibility now.
That's feasible.
I need to go back, and I know you don't trust him, but my best chance to bring back the Jedi is with Ben Solo. I know you don't trust him, but
trust me.
But trust me. I trust in the Force. We both need to bring back the Jedi because they're gonna be needed. So
that I think is also a feasible answer because I don't see her running away. I don't see her just bringing him in, linking arms, look who's here. I don't see that happening either. And I don't see her sneaking out for rendezvous, visits with him.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a really good point. I'm back. I love you guys. We did it. And I love you. And this isn't goodbye forever, but I definitely do have a duty to the galaxy.
Yeah, responsibility, yeah.
And to, my masters that made me who I am today. And like you said, I know you don't trust him, but you trust me to know that I'm doing the right thing and that, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun thing to see Rey and Ben attempt to maybe
to rebuild the Jedi Order.
Rebuild the Jedi Order. Because I don't see the Resistance ever being cool with him
No, yeah.
as Ben.
I don't see the galaxy being cool with him as Ben Solo. I mean, he would have an immense task and to prove himself, and maybe he spends the rest of his life proving to everybody like I'm good.
Yeah.
My mother sacrificed herself to reach me, and she did.
Yeah.
And now Kylo Ren's dead. Now Ben Solo is back.
Yeah.
So maybe the rest of his life is just proving to everybody, and maybe nobody ever does believe him, and he dies. The bad guy. Everybody's still suspicious of him, but he spends the rest of his life rebuilding Jedi with Rey, rebuilding and making amends for everything he's done, and people still don't believe him, and he just dies. And
at least he dies with a cleaner soul.
Yeah.
And the thing that I would like to see in this imaginary dream world is I would love to see a moment of Ben with his parents visiting him.
Oh,
as
ghosts, Force ghosts. Well,
that would be
Harrison
Ford's not a Jedi, so he wouldn't be a Force ghost.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, Han Solo. Oh God. Oh my God. Wow.
I mean, in a way, his father already did visit him as a memory of his father, in that one fever dream that he has.
I at least would like to see Leia appear as a Force ghost,
or even Luke. That'd be a great.
That would be a great, like, hey man, I'm really sorry.
And his grandfather that he wrongly worshipped.
Yeah, like high five, I did it. Brought somebody back, dude. Like, wow.
Yeah, that'd be great too to see.
That'd be really cool.
See all the Skywalkers.
A family reunion. It just sucks that Han Solo can't be there, unless he's just a memory. But can a memory interact with a Force ghost? Probably not.
Probably.
If he's literally a figment of his imagination.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean it does sucks, but that'd be a great moment to have with all the Skywalkers
Leia
together.
shows up, Luke shows up, Anakin shows up.
Yeah. And finally gets the true story to Ben. It's like, this is what really happened, dude.
Yeah.
You're wrongly worshiping my helmet from a past that I shed saving your uncle. So I think that'd be fantastic to see. So as far as the galaxy is concerned, I think we both agree that like the galaxy will never trust him ever, no matter what he does.
No.
So it's a hard road ahead for Ben Solo in the galaxy.
Yeah.
If he's alive and well and still turn to the light. But what does it mean for the character of Ben Solo?
I think it'd be great for the character.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the rest of his life would be just atonement and proving to people.
Maybe that makes him a better Jedi.
Maybe it does.
Because it's like everybody is like, from every story angle that we've seen in Star Wars, it's like the life of a Jedi is hard. It's not always easy. It's not just swinging lightsabers around and cutting people down. It's making hard decisions. It's making walking on a road that nobody wants to walk down. Sometimes. And
I feel like they probably each learn their own individual lesson. Like Luke pretty much talks about hubris.
Yeah.
And then maybe Kylo Ren, his lesson is
atonement. Standing up for what's right.
Well, I don't know what like negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Luke was
Temptation.
talking about arrogance and hubris, maybe
selflessness.
Maybe Ben talks about being unsure of yourself.
Yeah.
And not being able to stand up for yourself because he just gets abused everywhere.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week with the tragedy of Ben Solo and how we both thought, and people did just disagree with us that we thought Ben Solo had the more tragic story than Anakin Skywalker. Totally understandable.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally understandable. But, we said that last week that we said that Ben's biggest flaw was not learning to take what he learned from the past with him. Not so much hold on to it, but learn from it. Maybe this is something because this would be a great lesson to teach future Jedi. It's like, look, this is what happened to me. This is the road I went down.
Yeah.
Don't do what I did. Don't be so selfish and don't want to shun people. Look at the broader picture. Like, I thought that my uncle was trying to kill me because he feared me, and that wasn't the case because I looked at it like through a peephole. It's like, this is my perspective. I didn't know enough to step back from the moment and say, all right, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And just react to things like so.
Yeah, impulsiveness.
Impulsiveness. That's a great lesson. That
yeah, he's
choose.
very impulsive.
So as far as the character goes, for him to constantly have to atone for what he done, to teach other Jedi to not fall prey to those mistakes that he made. So I think for the character it'd be fantastic, and I would love to see like a what if scenario.
Imagine Rey and Ben Solo as as your Jedi masters.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Imagine them taking Broom Kid. Oh, man. That kid would be one of the strongest Jedi ever.
And who's to say maybe they take Finn under their wing,
That'd be amazing.
train him as a Jedi too.
I mean, it'd take a lot of convincing. He probably.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
But that would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be a great story.
I'd love to see, Finn, flex his force sensitivity.
Force sensitivity.
More than just, it's a feeling.
Yeah, that's a storyline that I really wanted to see more of, but we're not talking about Finn today. We're talking about
We'll find
Rey and
another
Ben.
day to talk about Finn.
Maybe
Finn and Poe. Pin and Foe.
the bromance of the prequel trilogy or sequel trilogy. So as far as the fandom goes, how do we think that the fandom would have handled Lightside Ben and seeing that he's alive and well after this encounter of bringing Rey back to life?
I think it would go over. I mean, you're always gonna have a split. Your audience is always gonna be split.
Yeah. You're not gonna please everybody.
It's just a matter of, is it split down the middle, or is it split where most people are okay with it?
The way I'm just saying, the way the fandom goes nowadays, it's like either you really love it or you really hate it.
Yeah, super polarizing.
Yeah.
I think that I would wager that a lot of the fandom would be down with it.
Yeah.
I think there would be some people who are like, no, I like evil Kylo. There's gonna be people that are not gonna be happy no matter what you do. That's evident, very evident.
Yeah.
In the world. But I do think a lot of people, because you're gonna have your Reylo stands out there.
That's right. That's true too.
They're gonna be like, oh yes, they can finally get together and
have a baby,
force baby. And so there's always gonna be those people. Then there's gonna be the people that like, oh yes, I love a redemption story. I love a story about hope. I love a story that there's good in everybody. I think by and large most people would probably be they're probably are not gonna like love it, but I think most people would be okay with it. I think it would be a small subsection of people that would absolutely hate it. Just like there's people that hate the way the Rise did end.
Yeah, I think that'd be feasible, because I think it would satisfy those fans that, because a big complaint about this is like, oh, it's the same story over and over again. Well, I was like, this is giving you a curveball. Like, well, no, he's still alive. He's got to pay for what he did. He's going to answer for what he did, and I think a lot of people out there wanted to see something like that.
Yeah.
Like people from the circles that I follow, it's like, yeah, I don't want to see him be redeemed and then, you know what I mean? Because it's something we've seen before, and people are just like, I want to see something new. And
I want to see consequences for your actions.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is something that would please fans. Like, well, I didn't want to see him redeemed, but if he does get redeemed, I want him to see him live.
Yeah.
So I think it would go over well, fans. What would you? Is this something that you would been happy with? Had the movie gone that way?
Yeah, because the reason that I immediately say yes is because something I really enjoyed about Rise of Skywalker, and it's probably something so stupid, but like, I just find it fascinating how he didn't when he became Ben, didn't even speak a word, and just by his mannerisms, his body language, his face, like it was literally like Adam Driver was playing two different characters.
He's a completely different character when he shows up.
Like when he just like flips up and his gorgeous hair is just like
a Maybelline commercial all day, every day.
I need to know what Kylo Ren uses in his hair, Ben Solo uses in his hair. I need to know what Qui-Gon Jinn uses to deep condition his hair. Like the men of Star Wars are like, wow.
Obi-Wan Kenobi with his Jedi mullet.
Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan has long hair in the Attack of the Clones. It's like a mullet. No, he didn't. Yeah, not vibing with the.
I guess it's just mainly. I mean, even Anakin has decent hair in Revenge.
Yeah.
But like mainly Qui-Gon and Kylo / Ben.
What about Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi? No.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. But I wouldn't be like, boy, what are you conditioning with? I'd be like, drop those secrets. What kind of oil are you using? But wait, where?
Ben.
Ben being different. But yeah, even just for not even speaking a word, just his look, you can just see in his eyes that he's literally a different person. And I wanted more of that. I wanted to see more of Ben Solo and what he would be like as Ben Solo, and that awkwardness of like, ooh, yeah. Whoops. Yeah, we tried to kill each other a couple times.
Yeah, and throughout the entire sequel trilogy, Ben Solo smiles once.
Exactly, and it was so cute and so like heartwarming. It was such a breath of fresh air and such a relief to see Ben Solo and to see even like that one shot of him when he's like about to fight all the Knights of Ren, and it's just that hair shot. I love how stark of a difference it was. And I just wish we could have explored it more. So I would be totally down with him surviving and then seeing more of his story.
Yeah, and you continue and they said like, oh yeah, we're done with the Skywalker saga after episode 9. It's like, who's to say like maybe 9 years down the road, it's like, let's revisit this. And had Ben Solo lived, you can see them like Jedi Master Ben Solo and Jedi Master Rey Skywalker.
Do you think that she would have still taken the name Skywalker if he was still alive?
Ooh, that's a great point.
Because what if they are DTF? And then it's like, oh, I don't want to be a Skywalker too.
Rey Solo?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I wonder, would she have still taken the Skywalker name? Would she have still felt
the need?
Yeah, because she...
The pleasure, the honor. I think the honor is the word we're looking for.
Yeah. Because it's not like she did it because she felt she had to. She did it because she felt that was right for her.
Yeah.
I just wonder, would she still have taken the name if Ben was still with us?
That's a great question.
I don't know.
Ooh. I don't think she would have because
I don't know if they had a romantic connection, and would it be weird if she was like, I'm a Skywalker too?
No, I think they did because like that kiss is 100%
friendship kiss.
No, that kiss is 100% romantic.
It was
that little quote that like got posted all over Twitter like, well, see, it's a kiss of whatever the quote was. It's of celebration to whatever.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
That's the first sentence of the entire thing, and when you read the rest of that passage, it's like that sounds like wedding vows.
Yeah.
Basically, so it's a completely romantic kiss.
I believe so.
It's a complete, and I think like I'm on the record saying like I never really wanted Rey to have a love interest. I don't. I think she's kind of the character doesn't really need that.
Yeah.
But the way that it was presented in this movie and in The Last Jedi, because I think this romantic thing with Ben and Rey kind of goes back to The Last Jedi, especially when he asks her to join him. He's like, "You're nothing. You have no place in the story."
But not to me.
But not to me. And like just that little line's like he cares for her, and I totally think that there's this connection, and they go as far as say, "Oh, we're two that are one, the dyad." So, but yeah, God, that's a great question. Would Rey take the Skywalker name? I don't
know.
Maybe, I don't know. Because I think a big reason she took the name is because the galaxy needs a Skywalker.
Yeah.
It totally needs a Skywalker. Just the effect, and I know like people will say, "Well, the story of Star Wars isn't the Skywalker story." It's like, watch the movies. The Skywalkers wreak havoc on the galaxy.
Yeah.
They have such an influence on the galaxy, whether it be good or evil. The galaxy needs a Skywalker, and I think that's a big reason why she took the name. And if Ben Solo lives, you still have the bloodline. You still have a Skywalker. And who's to say maybe when they do get together and they have children, they give their children the name Skywalker and not Solo.
Yeah.
So I think she still takes it.
She might.
So she's Rey Skywalker. He's Ben Solo. I mean, I say it as much in the movie. There's something stronger than blood.
Yeah.
So that's a great question, though. I like that.
Because no one really referred to him as Ben Skywalker. He was more Ben
Solo. Yeah.
So maybe she would still take it.
Yeah. I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we went over Rey, Dark Rey, and so if you had to choose one, I think we already know the answer.
What has a bigger effect on the galaxy?
Well, as two scenarios, like you can either have Dark Rey or good Ben. Oh. Who do you choose? Like out of these two scenarios that we posted, like you have to choose one. If you had to have one be canon, which one would you choose?
I feel like it would be really hypocritical to say Dark Rey because I was just spouting off
Spouting
about how,
Yeah.
you build a connection with her.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see her manipulate people.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, it would be really disappointing. It would be super disappointing to see.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to see. It would be really interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be mad about it.
About Dark Rey.
I'm not, a little girl looking up to I'd be interested to see it.
Yeah.
I'd be a little disappointed, but it wouldn't be enough to make me not watch it because I think it would be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But Star Wars being a story of hope and redemption, I think it would be nice, and I think it would open a lot of doors
For future stories.
because if Rey turns dark, it's lights out for the galaxy.
Yeah. It's
What else? What are you gonna do?
And for the character, because at some point a light side, because the whole balance of the force, the stronger you're in the dark, you're equal and the light will rise.
Yeah.
So
true.
it's gonna balance itself out anyways. With
Somebody would rise to meet her if she was the dark one.
Yeah.
But I feel like with the story arcs that we've seen in Star Wars, I feel like it would make more sense to see Ben redeemed and
I
survive.
think so too. Yeah, I would if there at some point down the road Disney's like, let's do a what if scenario. I think the what if Ben Solo lives and goes to help Rey rebuild the Jedi Order. I think that's fascinating. I would love to see that.
Like he, brings her back, and then they kiss, and then she sees him starting to get woozy, and maybe they force hug.
Yeah.
And
she saves him.
And she just, gives him that last little edge to be like, stay with me.
I'll never let go.
Yeah. No, never let go, Jack. There's enough room on this door for both of us.
Still haven't seen it.
Andrew doesn't get that reference, even though he probably does because everybody knows that reference.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to see. I think it open so many doors, and I would love to see Ben just forever try to atone for what he did and teach future Jedi, like, this is the lesson I learned. This is the lesson you need to take with you.
And imagine seeing, Rey, Finn, and Ben, ignite their lightsabers and fight alongside each other. Ooh. Imagine that.
Oh. The yellow lightsaber Rey with... Ooh, that's another great question. Would he take the Skywalker blade or do what Rey did and bury it? Would he take his mother's lightsaber, or would he take the legacy Skywalker blade with the Anakin Luke?
I feel like he would take that one.
He would take the Skywalker blade.
Or would he take his mom's because she was the one who brought him back and really was the one that...
Yeah, that's such a great what if. Oh God, we can go on and on about that. That'd be fantastic.
Because my brain wants to say take the Luke one.
Mm-hmm. Because it's all this legacy
all
behind
that
it.
history.
Mm-hmm.
But my heart says take the Leia one because your mother
Mm-hmm.
did the ultimate sacrifice for you.
I'd say that too. Or does does Rey take the Leia lightsaber and Ben take the legacy one? Because she wouldn't have, you know what I mean? God, there's so many what ifs.
I
with
think
this
Rey
scenario.
would keep her lightsaber because first of all, it's dope.
Yeah,
but
it's so good, so cool.
Because it's her staff, and
Mm-hmm.
she probably fought off many a foe
Mm-hmm.
in Jakku. Scrapping together her poor little existence for
Mm-hmm.
God knows how many years. I feel like that would probably hold more nostalgia's not the right word, but I feel like that would hold more meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And history, and I don't think she'd part with her own
staff.
lightsaber.
Yeah, I think Mother's lightsaber would mean more to him.
Yeah,
And it would just remind him of the symbols, like, this is what my mom did for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be, and maybe they just have this Skywalker blade that just sits around and as a trophy, and display in the Jedi Temple.
in case of emergency, break glass.
So-
If I was making the movie, Ben would take Leia's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. That'd be so cool to see. Just them going around the galaxy fighting the yellow and the blue.
Yeah,
That'd be so cool. But yeah, so I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up here. That was a great discussion. I really like that
good.
topic.
I'm surprised.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What would you rather see? How would you respond to Dark Rey and Lightside Ben running around the galaxy, still alive?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna wrap the show up here. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
Twitter, Dimmy DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch, streaming again at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe to the channel for future updates. A lot of stuff. Again, I'm going to try to get my Dr. Afra review up soon. I got a lot of stuff I'm working on. If you listen to on audio form, go to Apple Podcasts, rate us, follow us, do everything you can, help us out, support the channel. If you feel so inclined, please join the Patreon, patreon.com/Andrew and Nicki. Become a member of the squadron. Speaking of the squadron, thank you to our squadron captains, Timur Bada, Ferris Mathana, B-Door, and Joss Estes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your continued support. We didn't have any questions today because nobody submitted them.
It happens.
It happens sometimes. But thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Going Rogue. May the Force be with you. Always.